So if you're using Super Sculpey, you need an armature, you need your clay obviously, and the armature actually has to be a little bit smaller than the cavity that you're using as your reference guide for your sphere. So we have that, we have our armature. You can use petroleum jelly as a mold release, but since Super Sculpey is petroleum based, things can get a little bit sticky and messy, so I prefer to use you can use either baby powder or cornstarch, whatever you have handy. In my case, I have cornstarch. It doesn't have to be this brand. This is what I have on hand. That's what I'm going to use. So here we go. I'll show you exactly what the cornstarch is used for. It probably doesn't make much sense now, but it'll make sense in a minute. So you condition your clay. You put it on your armature like so. It doesn't have to be like uber perfect, but try to make sure that the wall thickness is as even as possible. I know you probably can't get it perfect, but until you start using the scoop, but try to make sure that the cavity is the wall thickness on the clay after you apply it on your armature is as even as possible. So basically you just, build a rough shoulder joint. That's what this is, or a joint, whatever joint you're working with. You take your cornstarch and you lightly dust the measuring spoon, lightly dust it in there, and then you take your part and then you lightly dust cornstarch on there. This is basically to take away all the stickiness. Now you run it in the scoop so that way it takes the shape of the scoop, if that makes any sense. So you pretty much do this and you kind of like smooth away the excess as you go. I'm not sure if you can see it because my camera is kind of awful, but like the excess little bits, oops, where is it? The excess little bits of clay, you kind of smooth that down as you go. The cornstarch will help you. So you kind of do this. If it's getting sticky, you take a little bit more cornstarch, you smooth it in the cavity like so, and then you put your piece and then you just go. The key here is to make it like flow really, really smoothly over the piece. You're just lightly putting pressure and trying to take the shape of the measuring scoop. So everything is pretty much done. It's looking good. And that's pretty much how I use it with Super Sculpey. So just took this out of the craft oven. It's hot. It's very hot actually. Wait to demold your piece when you wait until it's warm enough to handle. Don't demold it when it's hot because you can probably hurt yourself. But as you can see, this is the first part of it. You have your channel in there. It's still pretty soft. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer for it to cool down, and then I'll come back. Wait, let me see if I can clean this up while it's still warm. Okay, here we go. Going to wait for it to cool down a little bit more, and then I will come back and demold it. Okay, so it's still hot, but I'm kind of impatient, so I'm going to just do this now. Oh, okay, so we have our almost perfect sphere. I say almost perfect because I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but I do have an overhang right here because, let me see if okay, there we go. I do have kind of a lip going on right here because this piece was bigger than this piece. But if you use the same size measuring cup from this, if you buy two sets of the same thing, you can get perfect spheres. But for right now, hopefully I was able to explain the process. This is going to be the hole where the stringing channel. So this is the part that will connect to, say this is a thigh joint. This is the part that will connect to the thigh and like move on to the knee area. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. It was really hard. Okay, so clean this up a little bit. If the lip is too much of a problem, like, I mean, if you have 2 different size scoops, you can pretty much work with this. You can what's the word? You can add some more clay right here and fill it up if you want to. But if that's a problem for you, then just when you buy your scoops, it's only $1 each at the dollar store. Just $2, get 2 scoops. It'll make things a lot easier for you. But pretty much, you know, that's how. Ignore this. This was just the test piece, but that's pretty much how you can do it. It's very effective. You can get really clean casts. You know, really, you know, if you're careful, like when you're doing your piece, don't be as don't be as rough with the piece as I was. You can get really clean casts if you're really, really careful with it. And that is pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I don't post often, but I do share the, you know, making the processes involved in making a ball jointed doll, if that's something that interests you. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to send me a message or drop a comment in the description, you know, not in the description, drop a comment in the comment section, and I usually answer if it's something that I can answer, or if it's something I can't answer, I'll try to, like, you know, point you in the right direction. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Like and subscribe. Bye.